In today's episode, we're going to talk about socks. In the last episode, which I will link below for those of you that haven't listened to it, I talked a little bit about socks that I was going to need for the tournament, and I said I would do an update on my sock journey, what socks I've used, what I'm using now, and I decided it's later. So we moved that podcast up in the list, and here we are. So I've used a couple different socks. The first one I want to talk about is the Bauer Performance Low Skate Sock. That's when I was getting outfitted, this is what was recommended to me. I went with a low, or they call it a low skate sock. Maybe it's like a cruise sock. I went with that because I evidently have really large calves, and higher socks are too tight around them and actually are really uncomfortable for me in many cases. So we went with a lower sock height. For those listening on audio, I will make some social media posts on Instagram for the podcast showing these different socks, so you can, if you want the visual on it, you can see them there. I'll link to that as well. And then those of you watching on YouTube, you get to see the thing, but check it out on Instagram anyway. So this is what I started with. One of the kind of challenges with this sock, and why I am not necessarily using the sock now, is that it's the toe box construction did not work for me, and where the seam across the toe was, it hit my toe in a weird spot. The toe box is kind of like this weird shape. It like tapers, but it's kind of, is it a parallelogram, a trapezoid? It's a weird shape. And it's just not the best for my foot. I am notoriously picky about seams on clothes and specifically socks. Always have been. I've had a lot of foot problems over my life, so maybe that's part of it. Just really particular about it. So these socks might work for you. You might not be particular. Your foot might be a different shape. Might be good for you. These are not my favorite. I will go to them if all the other socks are dirty. And I was like, I need more than one pair of socks, so I gotta figure something out. So I am a retired long distance backpacker, so I've used synthetic socks or wool socks for a long time in backpacking. They're great at keeping your feet warm, but yet wicking away sweat, keeping your feet pretty dry even when they're sweaty. And I happened to be in Costco one day and came across a 3-pack of the Kirkland wool socks. They come in different colors, varieties. This is like a gray and black color. I really like the toe box construction on these better than I did on the Bauer. It's a more natural toe box, I feel like. So you can kind of see the different shapes. Again, I'll put that on Instagram for y'all. And it was a 3-pack, and it was like $15 for 3 pairs versus $18 for, 1 pair. And these were great. I picked up a couple pairs. I could also use them for backpacking if I wanted to, or trail work. They're great in work boots as well. Or just keep my feet warm in general in the winter. I've also worn them to hockey games because I want to keep my feet warm. So these are, I wear these regularly. I've got them in a rotation. They're great. They were easy to find. They're inexpensive. Hockey is an expensive sport, so to find an inexpensive option is fantastic. So we'll take it. And I've even bought packages of these socks and gifted them to people who I knew needed hockey socks. The third type or pair brand of sock that I have used for hockey, it's another hiking brand, shocker. I was at my full-time job. It was a tabling event, grand opening for a store. There were a bunch of vendors there, and there was a Smart Wool vendor there. And we got to talking, and I mentioned hockey and socks. And it sounds like maybe they have a hockey sock, but they didn't at this event because it was in the desert and it was an outdoors event, not a hockey event. But anyway, I came across the Smartwool Athletic Sport sock. It's a crew height, unisex. I've got a medium. It's targeted cushion, a little bit, so it's not super cushiony, which is good because I want to be able to feel what I'm doing in my skates. But they're Smartwool. They keep my feet dry. They don't smell too bad. I mean, these are freshly laundered, but even when they're sweaty, they smell way better than hockey gear. We'll say that. And yeah, they just really do a fantastic job. And I really, really like wearing these. I only have one pair. I think they're great. The toe box is great. I don't even notice that there's a seam on them. The seam is so well done across the toe. It's just an incredibly comfortable pair of socks. I feel like I can feel my skate really well in them. They're keeping my feet dry and warm, but not hot. And I think that that's kind of one of those tricky pieces is you want to keep them warm, but because when I first get out there, I'm cold when I'm on the ice, specifically my feet. But then once I get going, I'm sweating and everything is hot, including my feet. And so these socks, I would say both the Costco Kirkland brand socks and these Smartwool socks both do a really good job of keeping my feet warm and dry, but not hot. So none of this is sponsored. This is my own money that went and bought these things. Actually, I think these were gifted to me now that I'm thinking about it from the vendor at the event. I think she was like, just try them, you'll like them. But not sponsored, just gifted one vendor to another. Really appreciate it. Love these socks. So I don't know if that was helpful letting you know what I use. You don't have to go out and buy expensive socks. You can if they work for you. I would say the Costco socks are the most cost effective. For me, it was a really good bargain. And then I don't know how much these Smartwool socks cost, but I would guess that they're probably in the $20 range. That's just a guess. I should have looked it up. I didn't. Prices change anyway. You can look up how much they cost. You can look up how much the Bauer socks cost. I would say that they're probably maybe close in price. And I just really enjoy wearing the Smartwool more. It just fits my foot better. So hopefully that was helpful. I would love to know if you have a sock recommendation that you think I should try. Go ahead, you can use the text us link and we'll get your message. Or if you're on Instagram, go ahead, leave a comment. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment in the videos. Would love to know what socks you think I should give a go if you have a favorite. Until next time, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'm Nitro. I'll see you soon. Bye.